Tiamat, fueled by Anzu's death and Marduk's tyranny, rose from the abyss to spark a divine rebellion. She persuaded Ishtar and Enlil to join her cause, and together they stormed Marduk's celestial palace. A cataclysmic battle erupted. Tiamat's chaos clashed with Marduk's order. Ishtar's arrows lit the skies, and Enlil unleashed storms. For 7 days, the gods battled across heaven. In the end, Marduk summoned a new primordial fire, banished the rebels, and stood alone, victorious but shaken. In exile, Tiamat, Enlil, and Ishtar descended into the underworld, launching a surprise assault on Nergal. With his champions, Ashur, Ares, and Kali, Nergal fought back in a brutal war of gods. Ashur fell in combat. Enlil shattered Ashur's spear with lightning. Ishtar bested Kali, while Tiamat crushed Ares and overpowered Nergal. The underworld fell. Tiamat claimed the throne, forging a new empire in Death's domain. Next, Tiamat turned to the demons. She invaded their realm and challenged Baal. A devastating war followed. Tiamat's forces tore through the demon legions. Baal fought fiercely but fell in Tiamat's coils. With his death, the demon race collapsed and was absorbed into the growing underworld empire. To strengthen her hold, Tiamat sought alliances. She approached Uthrog, king of the giants, offering revenge against the gods. Uthrog agreed to join her cause. But for Dracula, king of dragons, and Gorgon, king of monsters, she used brute force. Both leaders resisted, but were eventually defeated and forced into submission. In the end, Tiamat stood atop a throne forged of bone and fire. With giants, demons, dragons, and monsters under her banner, she prepared to march on the celestial realm. The gods had ruled for too long. Now war would come, and with it, the end of their age. The deep waters of the primordial sea churned with fury. Since the day Anzu fell, the heart of chaos had stirred restlessly.
He called it justice, but it was nothing but murder, cloaked in gold and law. Marduk must fall, not just for Anzu, but for all of us. I won't face him alone, not yet.
In a valley where dusk never ends, the goddess of contradictions wandered alone. Ishtar stood among glowing flowers. A faint breeze carried petals in slow motion. Her eyes were distant. Tiamat arrived, the light dimmed, and flowers withered in her wake.
Tiamat, your presence turns beauty to ash. What do you want?
Justice, balance, war.
Marduk acted for the order we all swore to uphold.
Order built on blood is not justice. Who will he crush next? You, me?
Silence. Ishtar looked away.
He was merciful once, wasn't he? Or did I only choose not to see?
I know loss, so do you. Help me restore what was stolen.
For love, for balance, I stand with you.
In the high places of the world, the wind god brooded beneath a churning sky. Enlil stood alone, staff in hand, the storm roaring around him. Tiamat ascended the peak in a swirl of black mist.
I don't welcome chaos, Tiamat.
And I don't bring it. Marduk does. One by one, we'll fall if we remain silent.
Anzu's death, it haunted me, but I buried it because I feared the truth.
You know it already. Join us, Enlil, not as a traitor, as a protector of what's right.
Enlil lowered his gaze, the wind softened.
Then let the storm strike where it must. I'm with you.
At the heart of heaven, Marduk sat upon a throne of gold, unaware that his empire had begun to fracture. Marduk, radiant and composed, signed decrees. The room trembled, subtly. He looked up, uneasy. Suddenly, the grand doors burst open. Tiamat entered, flanked by Ishtar and Enlil. The tension in the air crackled.
Your reign ends today, tyrant!
Tiamat, you come here with threats and traitors. Explain yourself.
We loved you once, Marduk, but the god we followed is gone.
You've broken what we were sworn to protect.
They think me blind to sacrifice, but leadership demands pain. You think you can match the will of the supreme god? I created peace.
Then you can die with your peace.
She raised her hands. Water poured from the ceiling and floor, spiraling into a rising tidal force. The sky screamed. The earth held its breath. The gods no longer whispered, they roared. Marduk summoned fire and light, clashing with Tiamat's abyss. Ishtar's arrows flew like stars. Enlil brought thunder crashing down. The battle began, a divine war that would shatter the heavens. The sky cracked, not with lightning, something older. A storm that carried the weight of creation and destruction. The gods had turned on one another. Clouds coiled into a swirling vortex. The heavens trembled. Below, ancient stone trembled beneath divine feet. Tiamat morphed into a monstrous serpent, scales slick like obsidian. Her roar split the sky.
Marduk, you stole the throne with blood and lies. Today, I drown your empire in the waters of origin.
Marduk lifted the Imholu, a storm-forged weapon. Wind screamed, stars flickered. He met her charge. Black waves crashed into cyclonic wind. The impact exploded in a shockwave that sent light rippling across the sky, splitting clouds like glass. Where Tiamat was rage, Ishtar was precision. The fire of life and lust, sharpened to a blade. Arrows of fire streaked like comets. She danced through the air, her every move war and love entwined.
You were once the morning star, Marduk. Now you're a tyrant. We were gods, not servants.
Marduk countered with his net of order, laced with cosmic threads. It snapped at her, but she twisted, dodged, and retaliated. Sparks flew, the air hissed. Enlil raised his arms, the sky screamed.
Justice is not control. Marduk, the storm does not serve. It balances. You tipped it.
Lightning ripped through clouds. Thunder crashed like mountains falling. Wind lashed everything in reach. Marduk braced, bathed in golden light. He summoned the Tablet of Destinies. Glyphs glowed, and time itself seemed to start.
I am the flame that holds the world together. You strike at me. You strike at existence.
7 days, 7 nights. The universe didn't sleep. It screamed. Tiamat's coils tore through mountain-sized clouds. Ishtar's sword of passion cut starlight. Enlil turned the sky into a hurricane. Marduk glowed like a miniature sun, barely holding back the tide. The battlefield was scorched, space warped. The gods, bruised but unyielding, made one final push.
This ends now. I'll tear your soul from the stars.
Marduk roared, raising Imholu one final time. It became a vortex, devouring light, wind, and sound.
Strike him down before the balance collapses.
Together.
The powers met, not like swords, like galaxies crashing. A cataclysm erupted, light bent, gravity screamed. A flash, white-hot and infinite, consumed all. The shockwave tore through dimensions. Stars flickered. Silence fell. They fought not for triumph, but for truth. The cosmos was not one, it was held moment by moment between order and chaos.
I held the line, but at what cost?
The explosion was brighter than stars colliding, hotter than the sun's core. Even the gods shielded their eyes. It was not destruction, it was birth. Tiamat, Ishtar, and Enlil stumbled back, coughing, scorched. Flames swirled in chaos, screaming like ancient beasts.
What is that?
I can't feel the threads of time.
But Marduk stood, unmoved, at the heart of the storm. Flames curled in midair before him, alive, conscious, divine. Marduk did not retreat. In the core of devastation, he saw it. A fire not of heaven nor earth, and a new force born from divinity itself.
You are not chaos. You are potential.
He lifted his arm. The flame obeyed, swirling around him, merging into his sleeve like ink in the water. He took it, and the cosmos changed forever. Smoke cleared. The battlefield was discarded. The gods lay broken. Tiamat coiled, bleeding. Ishtar clutched her side, her armor in ruins. Enlil knelt, flickers of lightning fading around him. 3 titans fell, not from steel or spell, but from something far older. Balance shattered, order overturned.
You were not enemies. You were creator. But you raised your hand against the order. Unlike Anzu, I cannot destroy you. The universe needs your roles. But defiance must have consequence.
He raised his arm. A vortex began to spin, cold, vast, eternal.
You are banished.
Wind howled. Reality bent. The 3 gods began to lift from the ground, powerless.
This is not the end. Marduk, you will fall.
I loved you once, but now only ash remains.
And so the old gods fell into the void, not slain, but erased from the heavens. The battle was won, but victory has weight.
fire. It creates, it destroys, it tempts.
Balance had been preserved, but cracks remained. Their voices would echo. Their rage would return. Marduk, the supreme god, now ruled alone. The fire of dominion, his burden, his shield, his curse.
He thinks this is over, but gods do not forget.
And love never truly dies. It only transforms.
Let him enjoy peace. It will not last.
The war was over for now, but the cosmos was never still. And when the fire burned again, he would be ready. In the dark between worlds, where time is hollow and stars go to die, drift the fallen gods, banished, betrayed, forgotten, but not finished.
We cannot drift like phantoms. We are gods. We were gods.
And now we are exiles. What realm will take us in?
No realm will. We take one.
Where?
The underworld, Nergal rules it, but he bleeds like the rest.
The god of death. You would war with the end itself.
He has what we need: power, a throne, a beginning.
Then we strike. The storm within me has waited long enough.
Then let us fall with purpose.
Into the shadows they sank, not as lost souls, but as conquerors in exile. They descended into the underworld, a realm of black stone and wandering souls. Whispers trailed them, walls pulsed with runes of death. Tiamat slithered ahead, eyes scanning. Ishtar glided like a blade in human form. Enlil watched the dark wind curling at his fingertips. Nergal's palace was an obsidian fortress crowned in skulls, its gates pulsing with ancient runes.
This is the heart. Once these gates fall, so will the god behind them.
Then we carve open destiny.
No more drifting. No more waiting.
Enlil unleashed a gale. Lightning danced in madness. Ishtar's blade ignited with searing fire. Tiamat roared, summoning chaos tides. With a combined strike, the gates groaned, bent, screamed, then shattered. And into the house of death they stormed, not as invaders, but as heirs. Corridors crumbled under their footsteps, statues cracked, spirits wailed.
Nergal will fall, and from his ruin, our kingdom will rise.
Not just to survive, to rule.
Let the gods remember who we were.
3 gods fell, 3 gods rose. The underworld would never be the same. The flickering shadows of the underworld stretched across obsidian stone. A deep rumble built as the palace trembled. Runes across the massive gates pulsed weakly with fading power. Beneath the surface of the world, where time stands still and silence weighs heavy, lies the kingdom of death, Nergal's domain. But silence does not last forever. With a deafening crack, the gates exploded inward. The underworld was breached. Nergal rose from his throne, tall, cloaked in shadows. His scythe glowed with black fire.
Tiamat! I should have known you'd crawl back from the void. But this kingdom is mine, and I do not bow.
From the darkness emerged 3 warriors. Asher, brutal and cold. Kaylee, her hands wreathed in fire. And Ares, blood-soaked, smiling. They stood beside Nergal. Tiamat burst into the chamber, massive, serpentine, radiant with chaotic energy.
You rule a prison of ghosts. I bring rebirth in flame and storm. Stand aside or be unmade.
Then come! Let's see if chaos can bleed!
Tiamat roared. The battle began. The chamber became a battlefield. Lightning, fire, blood. Gods collided. Ishtar fought Kaylee, a graceful, furious ballet of blades and fire. Enlil fought Asher, storm against steel. Ares fought Tiamat, raw war against chaos incarnate.
You burn bright, sister of ruin. But I am the flame that creates and destroys.
Then die in your own light.
The underworld, once still, now groaned under the weight of divine rage. The silence of death had given way to the screams of war. The shadows flickered, souls whispered, the walls bled smoke. Nergal and Tiamat dueled alone in the center, scythe versus scale.
You don't belong here!
No, but I will reign here when death dies. What remains but me?
Enlil shattered Asher's spear in a flash of lightning. Ishtar drove Kaylee to her knees, blade at her throat. Ares, battered, was driven back by Enlil's rising storm.
Is this all you've got, Storm Boy?
This is only the eye of it.
Back to Nergal and Tiamat. He was tiring, her coils tightened.
You won't take it! Not
clinging to your shadows.
He slashed upward. Her scream shook the chamber. Ishtar raised her blade for the final blow.
Rest now, destroyer.
Kali's eyes blazed. She screamed. Her body erupted in fire. Ishtar leapt back as flame flooded the battlefield. A war between gods was not won. It was survived. And when the flames died, what remained was never the same.
This is my realm, and even death refuses to die.
The sky above the underworld churned with violent storms. Obsidian pillars cracked and crumbled. Screams echoed from the walls. The final battle raged. The gods had warred 4 eons. But this was the final stand. Asher fell first. A golden light burst through the smoke as Asher, the god of war, charged Enlil. Lightning cracked.
You were the storm, brother. Now you are just thunder without fury.
Enlil's eyes glowed storm gray. He raised his fist and divine wind coalesced. He slammed it into Asher's chest. Asher's body snapped backward. His chest caved inward. Light died from his eyes.
Rest now, King of Silence.
Asher's body collapsed, turning to dust. Tiamat, Ishtar, and Enlil stood united. Before them was the broken trinity, Nergal, Ares, and Kali. Scorched earth, flaming rivers, shattered relics of 1,000 wars. 3 gods stood against them, bloodied but unbroken. Their defeat was inevitable, but not dishonorable.
I gave death its voice. Now it falls silent.
We fought not for power, for purpose.
And what purpose survives a war already lost?
The 3 exchanged a look, solemn, then vanished into shadows.
The realm is ours. Let it kneel.
This kingdom will be the bedrock of revolution.
Marduk will hear of this and tremble.
And thus the underworld fell, not to death, but to rebirth. Tiamat sat atop a throne made of god bones. Enlil surveyed the winds. Ishtar paced like a lioness in heat.
This is only the beginning.
We bend this realm, or it devours us whole.
Let Marduk come. He'll find more than ruin. He'll find wrath.
They would not wait for Marduk's judgment. They would forge weapons from the screams of the dead. She communed with Kem, Yitham, and Chaos. Tentacles of shadow spiraled around her.
Awaken, forgotten child. Feed on me.
A primordial entity stirred, a chaos beast of fire and void, bound to her will. Dust stirred as Ishtar found the blade, sleek, black, and humming with unstable energy.
This isn't a weapon. It's a question. And the answer is extinction.
Enlil summoned living storms, thunder spirits that swirled like vultures.
See everything, hear everything. Let no god breathe without my knowing.
They carved a fortress from death, a sanctuary of chaos, a throne of vengeance.
This will be the mouth of the new cosmos. We will speak its first scream.
And we will break his army before he forms it.
Let the living fear the dead.
The underworld was no longer a tomb, it was a weapon.
When the cosmos sleeps, we rise.
When the stars blink, we strike.
And when Marduk returns, he dies.
Eridu, the city of order, where divine law once ruled unchallenged. But even the heavens are not immune to unrest. Darkness now seeps into its sacred stones as gods once united stand divided. A massive hall of gold and obsidian stood still. At the far end, on a throne of radiant light dulled by time, sat Marduk, supreme ruler of the gods. His armor was worn, his eyes hollow with thought. Before him stood 3 gods, Nergal, Kali, and Ares.
Marduk, the underworld has fallen. Tiamat, Ishtar, Enlil, traitors all. They've taken what is mine. We fought, we bled, but we were outmatched. We come not as beggars, but as brothers in arms, seeking your aid.
They've turned my realm into chaos. I will not let that stand. Grant us your might, or watch them remake death itself in their image.
This is not just about the dead. If they win, the whole cosmos burns. We must strike now.
I have ruled longer than time remembers. I have slain dragons, broken empires. Yet now, I feel the edges fray. The order I built slipping. Is this what it means to be a god? To watch the tide turn, powerless to stop it? What you speak of is not new. The cosmos breathes in cycles, creation, destruction, rebellion, balance. You see loss. I see transformation.
Transformation! You call this betrayal a cycle!
Yes, they rise. and they will fall, as all things do.
So you will sit on that throne until the stars fall, doing nothing.
There is wisdom in restraint. Not every war is worth its price.
We fought for your order and you abandon us?
I abandon no one, but I cannot fight a river's current. I can only float with it or drown.
Then drown alone. Old God, we will take back the underworld without you.
We will not let the rot spread.
And we will not wait.
The three gods walked away from the throne room, each burning with fury and purpose. Marduk spoke of balance, of cycles. But war does not wait for wisdom, and gods do not forgive in silence.
Go then, play your part, rage against the tide. But remember, no war ends without cost, and no god is ever truly in control.
The underworld was no longer a place of silence and decay. Under the dominion of three gods, it pulsed with dark power, alive with the breath of shadows and fire. Tiamat sat on her throne, coiled like a serpent. Her glowing eyes pierced through the darkness.
Ishtar, Enlil, we've claimed the underworld. Now, we move beyond it. We will rise against Marduk, but not yet. First, we gather strength.
And how do you propose we do that?
We are listening.
The demon race, ancient, powerful, fragmented, if we take them, we turn chaos into weapon. They will serve or be crushed.
Dangerous gamble, but a tempting one.
Then let's prepare. We go to war with darkness itself.
In the deepest pit of shadow, the demons gathered, creatures born of chaos, ruled by none.
The gods come. Tiamat wants our chains. We give her fire instead. Let them try. We are not mortals to be conquered. Let them choke on pestilence. On rot, we are changed. Madness. They want to bind the storm. Let them bleed, trying. We are demons. We bow to none. Prepare. The gods will know fear.
On a scorched land, gods and demons met. The sky above twisted in torment. The ground cracked open in anticipation of blood. Tiamat coiled beside Ishtar and Enlil. Across the field, Baal and his generals stood like monuments to nightmare.
Baal, Nil, and gain power unimagined, resist, and fall.
You think this is conquest? This is suicide. We are the storm in your bones.
Then we finish this. Choose war and die.
So be it. Demons, devour them.
A roar erupted. Armies charged. Chaos collided with divine fury. They clashed like worlds colliding. Chaos against order. Flame against storm. Neither side held mercy. Tiamat crushed foes with tail and flame. She devoured a demon whole. Her eyes blazed as she roared.
You are mine!
Ishtar spun in a dance of death. Her sword sang, cutting light into shadow. Her voice was calm fury.
Fall before love's rage.
Enlil summoned a skyquake. Lightning speared into the battlefield, vaporizing dozens at a time.
The storm speaks through me.
Baal tore through divine warriors, a living inferno.
This is the fire of the abyss.
Zagan twisted the battlefield, turning ground to quicksand and air to madness. Gorgo spread plague like fog. Malthus led waves of precision strikes. Bodies lay everywhere. The land was cracked and smoking. The gods regrouped, bloody but unyielding. The demons too, scarred but burning with fury. Neither side relented, neither broke, but the war had only just begun.
If we cannot break them, we must become what they fear most.
Let the gods bleed for every step. Let them feel the dark they dare to take.
In the twilight of an age, the gods and demons clashed in a war that shattered the ground and tore open the skies. What began as an even match soon tipped into ruin. The woes, Tiamat, Ishtar, and Enlil, were relentless. Their combined might broke the rhythm of the demon horde. One by one, bastions of darkness fell.
Or we die. No god takes this ground without bleeding for it. This battle's lost. Retreat now, or vanish into history. Retreat? What? Ashes? This is our realm. If it burns, we burn with it. We fight. To the last. Let the gods choke on our screams. Then we show them what demons are made of.
One by one, demon leaders fell. And in the final moment, Baal met his end in the coils of Tiamat.
You should have bowed, Baal.
She crushed him. His final roar echoed across the plains. With Baal's fall, the resistance shattered. The demons who once raged against heaven now fled, broken, scattered. The war ended not with peace, but silence. The demon realm lay conquered, their people enslaved, their leaders devoured by fate.
We have cracked the heart of chaos. Now we reshape it.
Their power, twisted as it is, will serve us well. The realm is ours.
And we must keep it. Chaos resists the leash. They will rebel. And when they do, we crush them again.
Let them try. We will grind them into the bedrock of our empire.
The gods ascended a twisted throne built from fallen spires. Demonic remnants bowed in chains. Tiamat spoke to the realm.
This realm is reborn. Its power is now ours. And soon, the heavens will follow.
We will forge them into soldiers. If they break, we burn what remains.
Let the cosmos see. The gods have come, not to protect, but to rule.
From the ruin of the demons rose a darker empire. The underworld pulsed with a new rhythm, one not of despair, but domination. They had taken the underworld. The demon race now served the gods who broke them. But the gods' hunger did not end here.
Next, the stars.
The age of demons ended. The age of the dark gods had begun. The divine realm, once bathed in eternal light, trembled under a coming storm. From the highest tower of his celestial palace, Marduk stood watch, not as a ruler basking in glory, but as a god staring into war.
Tiamat, you rise from the depths again. The balance teeters, and once more I must be the blade between order and chaos. But even gods grow weary of endless war.
He had heard the echoes, Tiamat's conquest of the underworld, her domination of the demon race. But this was no isolated rebellion. This was the start of annihilation. Tiamat, the ancient queen of chaos, moved not with brute force, but with cunning. Her war was not just of fire and steel. It was of alliances, of manipulation.
The divine race will fall not by my hand alone. The dragons, the witches, the monsters, and the giants. I need only fan the flames. Their hate will do the rest.
She went first to the giants, once a proud race, now buried under divine oppression. Uthrog, their iron-fisted leader, remembered the wars all too well.
Altharug, they crushed your kin, banished you to these cold rocks. But I offer you a path to vengeance, a chance to bring the gods to their knees.
The giants remember. Nergal bathed in our blood, but it was Marduk who commanded it. We do not need your war, Tiamat. We have our own.
Then let our enemies be the same. Fight for your reasons, so long as you fight.
We will march, Serpent. But when the skies fall, the giants will rise, not as your allies, but as rulers of the ruins.
So the pact was made, not in trust, but in mutual hatred. A cold alliance forged in the embers of old grudges. Marduk entered a grand hall where lesser gods whispered in panic. He slammed his staff into the floor.
The war is no longer coming. It is here. Tiamat stirs the old powers against us. Giants, monsters, dragons, witches, they will answer her call. And if we do not stand united now, we will fall divided.
So the gods prepared, not for justice, not even for glory, but for survival. The sky stretched endlessly. Storm clouds coiled above jagged mountaintops. Dragons soared across the sky, their scales glinting in the light. At the highest peak, Drakara, a golden worm of immense size, lay coiled around a crag like a god of old. Tiamat ascended, her immense serpentine form winding through the wind. Lightning flashed behind her as she landed before Drakara.
Drakar, the divine race fears your power. They will chain you, break you, but with me, you will reign supreme.
We bow to no queen, demon or divine. We fly for no cause but our own.
You defy me, the gods will destroy you. But I can make you eternal. Choose wisely.
We are already eternal. If we fall free.
Tiamat snarled, wings unfurling. Thunder cracked. She lunged. The battle began. Fire met darkness. The sky burned. Drakara and Tiamat clashed, and mountains crumbled beneath them. Tiamat's fury was unmatched. She came not as a queen, but as a storm-given form.
You will serve me or burn.
Drakura, wounded and grounded, snarled, his eyes dimming.
We will serve, but we are not yours.
That is enough.
The trees were alive with whispers. The earth pulsed beneath dark mist. Gorgon, the hulking titan, emerged from the shadows. In the wild realms, chaos reigned, and monsters born of nightmare ruled with no master. Tiamat glided into the forest, shadows parting before her.
Gorgon, the gods would cage you. I would unleash you.
We are chaos. We serve no war but our own.
You will be destroyed, then, by them or by me. But serve me, and chaos will reign.
Let chaos decide.
Dark energy exploded as Tiamat attacked. Gorgon fought with ferocity, but slowly began to fall. Trees shattered. Earth collapsed.
We will join, but not as slaves.
Then crawl with your pride, so long as you fight.
Her enemies bowed, not by choice, but by force. The storm had begun, and the gods would soon feel its fury.
The divine race has ruled for too long. Now we rise not as pawns, but as the end of their age.
In the forgotten corners of the world, where death walked beside life, the witches dwelled, masters of the arcane, keepers of the old ways. And then Tiamat sought their allegiance. Tiamat, vast and serpentine, descended into the valley. Her scales shimmered like oil in candlelight. Before her stood Morgana, elegant and still, her eyes unreadable pools of shadow.
Morgana, you and your kind possess knowledge the divine fear. They will cage you, bind you, but I offer a different path. Stand with me and reclaim what was stolen.
Power tempts Tiamat, but we do not hunger for domination. We walk the threads between worlds. We see what others ignore. What you propose could tear the cosmos apart.
You would let them strip you of your magic, your dignity?
We seek no war, nor peace, only balance. We will not fight, nor will we stand in your way. We will watch and remember.
Then, when the heavens fall, remember this moment. Remember your silence.
We always do.
Tiamat turned, her scales glinting as she disappeared into the mist. A vast obsidian chamber was lit by flickering red flame. Bones lined the walls. The floor shifted like living shadow. Tiamat loomed over a stone table. Ishtar stood radiant and warlike. Enlil, storm-eyed and grim, listened.
The dragons and monsters now serve us. Reluctantly, but they serve. The divine realm will fall.
They fight from fear. We must keep their chains tight.
There is no room for hesitation. We strike fast, or not at all. Marduk will not give us a second chance.
Then we march to the heart of heaven, and when we breach it, we remake the cosmos.
No mercy, no survivors.
Let them see what true power feels like.
It is done. Let the heavens tremble.
The armies were gathered. Giants, dragons, monsters, all bound by Tiamat's will. The witches watched from afar, and across the stars the divine braced for war. In his palace of light, Marduk felt the storm, not of weather, but of fate.
So it begins, the war that may unmake all things.